Let's now turn our attention to the Africa Investment Forum. Our reporter Nompumelelo Siziba is there and she joins us now live. A very good morning to you, Nompumelelo. How is the second day going?
Thanks very much. Well, we're here at the African Investment Forum at the Sandton Convention Center. It's the second day, of course, and it's the second year that this is running. It was established last year and it had here again at the Sandton Convention Center. Last year, pledges to the tune of some 38.7 billion rand, $38.7 billion were raised in terms of investments on the African continent, with quite a bit of that money also coming here to South Africa. Of course, there are lots of different stakeholders here. There are business players, policy makers, investors, development finance institutions that are here. And basically, the reason why the forum calls itself a platform is because it serves as a platform for all of these stakeholders to speak to one another and identify projects and hopefully get pledges immediately for investment. That happens on the day or over the next few days, and then throughout the year or a period of time they work on bringing the deals to what they call financial close. Now with me I have Nicky Moyo. He's the managing director of Deet Capital. He's from Zimbabwe, and as we all know, Zimbabwe is in real need of capital injection, and that's his business, and he's looking to invest in various sectors in the Zimbabwean economy. So he joins me now. Thanks very much, Nicky, for joining us.
Thank you very much.
What's the importance of this forum for you? And in terms of whatever you manage to secure deal-wise, what is it that you're hoping to invest in Zimbabwe?
Thank you very much. As you know, obviously, Zimbabwe is going through a transition. But again, it's also a country that has always shown so much promise. And anyway, where you go around the world, it excites people. Zimbabwe is a well-diversified economy. You talk about agribusiness, you talk about tourism, you talk about its infrastructure, and above all, its human capital. It's well known that it has those assets at its disposal. But again, Zimbabwe is a country that needs to be connected to the world, either through trade or investment. And we believe being at this platform, it offers it a chance to achieve those things. Yeah.
Now we know that you had told me off camera that you have been involved in raising capital. What have you been applying that capital to? What are the project timelines, and what sort of impact do you make in terms of job creation in Zimbabwe?
Thank you very much. That's a very important question. With Zimbabwe, I think when you talk about capital, it's the simple initial issues around connecting the country to the world. And for me, the number one priority is obviously trade finance. Letters of credit for confirmation to enable private sector and SMEs either to do trade with the world, import and export. That's one area. The second area we strongly feel is a strategic of strategic importance is actually agribusiness. As you all know, it's been a food basket for many years, and it needs to recover. So we see a lot of opportunity, particularly for food production and also exports, not just into the region but across to the world. And then the third critical element we see is the energy crisis, and that presents an excellent opportunity, particularly a quick win towards renewable energy. So those to me appear as the near-term priorities. Of course, we've got the long-term infrastructure bottlenecks that we can always talk about.
It's always great to see somebody who comes from a country that's having difficulties still wanting to invest in their country. But as a Zimbabwean, what are some of the policy hurdles that you find are still there? Are there frustrations that you have, particularly in terms of making trade more amenable?
I think definitely the number one issue currently is the currency convertibility issues. That remains one of the bottlenecks. The other issue is obviously the ongoing reform process. The country has just gone through the final bill for formation of its one-stop investment center. I know in South Africa I've got one.
Yes.
So we think it's one more tick to the box rather than a bottleneck.
All right, Nikki, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. So that was Nikki Moyo, who's Managing Director of Deet Capital, which is a trade and investment company. And basically, he's looking to raise funds here to go and invest back home in Zimbabwe and make his small contribution towards getting that particular economy going. Of course, there are many African countries with a similar story, although their situations vary somewhat. But that's what we're here for, here to raise capital so that African countries can invest in their infrastructure and so on. And of course, energy is hugely important, because without energy, we can't get industrialization. Our leaders are always talking about how we need to industrialize the continent so that we can actually have something that can facilitate the African free trade Continental Agreement, which of course has been signed by 54 out of 55 African countries. They're hoping that that's going to become effective next year. And of course, if we're trading more together, we need a situation where African countries are actually producing more, because we can't exactly be importing from other parts of the world and then trading those goods. We need to be producing goods ourselves, and we need energy to do that. Of course, we'll have more coverage for you as the day progresses. Back to you in studio.
Thank you so much there to Nompumelelo Siziba, coming to us from the Africa Investment Forum that's currently underway in Sandton. As you can see, Steve Mabona is sitting right next to me.